Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Airplane Show. We got a good one today for you. We got the PMDG 737 in supreme detail, going over everything on this plane. Everything that not only I do, pretty much every flight, but what you can do as well with this plane. It's great for beginners, great for most seasoned of PMDG 737 internet pilots. And it doesn't matter if you have the 737-600, the 737-700, the 738, or the 739. It's pretty much the same interface with all these planes. We're going to take you through everything. So right now we are sitting at Schiphol, Amsterdam. Gate C14 is where this plane took off from in real life. We are flying this KLM flight 1253. Here is the actual tail number. Now, this is not going to show up on the plane, but we still plugged it in anyways. We are flying from here to Helsinki, Finland. So let's get going now. Let me show you the flight here. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up on Chrome. So here's the flight here from Amsterdam to Helsinki. It left at 1400, central time there. Landed at about 5:25, whatever time that is over in Helsinki. We can see it says gate C14. We got the tail number there. We got the flight time. Got the aircraft type. So yeah, man, this is where I got the idea for this flight. I wanted to do a plane that I have not fully set up yet because I want to show you setting up the actual FMS system. So let me show you. So let's get into this. Let's click fly. Now you don't have to do the finding an actual route and following it. I like to do that personally with every flight that I do, whether it's a Beechcraft B-18 or a Dash 7 or the Dreamliner or an Airbus or Boeing. I like to find real flights and kind of base the flight actually off of that. So if this is your first time here, welcome. If it's your last time here, hopefully it won't be your last time here, but yeah, please before we really begin, please do all the YouTubey things that we all ask of you every time you put on a video. We're always grifting at some point. So if you wouldn't mind doing some of those YouTube things on the screen that you're watching on, that would be completely awesome. I appreciate it. All right, now sometimes when this plane loads in, at least on Xbox, we need to reload it. So let's see what happens. Sometimes we get that hole in the near the glare shield there. So let's. Oh no, it actually loaded in. Okay, very good. All right, so here we are. So the first thing that I do when I jump in this airplane is I always go down to the GigaChad side, the co-pilot, Mega Karen, GigaChad, depends on who you got sitting next to you. To get this screen on, we don't need to turn anything on. We just need to hold the menu button in, and that'll actually turn the screen on. So let's hold this menu button in. There we go. Now that's on. Actually, let's straighten this out a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to go up into setup first, okay? Now, I'm going to set this up based off of documentation from PMDG, which I'm going to show you in a second. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. They have these startup states, right? So after we save what we're going to do, it's going to show up here. However, they have a lot of base ones. So if you want to set it up and go right to approach, you can do that. If you want to start on the apron, on the long part of the apron, you can start it off in climb mode, cold and dark with the ground power unit. You can start it off in cruise. Final, you can start it off in a hangar if a hangar is available. Start it off on the runway. So they have a lot of choices you can do. Taxi state. These other ones that we've been seeing, those are ones that I've saved over time. So PMDG on their website, if you go to PMDG, the website, if you go to their documentation page, and you can always just Google or Bing or Yahoo, whatever search engine you use, DuckDuckGo, just type in PMDG space documentation. That'll go ahead and bring up an Excel. Well, it'll bring up a few documents that you can download. One of them is this document here. Now, this document here goes over to 737, to 738, and to 739. And it gives you real world settings that different planes use. So, you know, we are looking at right now this, where's PMDG at? I'm sorry, PMDG. Where's KLM? KLM's right here, right? So I'm actually going to pull this up on my tablet. That way, you know, you can watch me doing it as time goes on. But we have all these settings over here. You know, MCP type, takeoff, glide scope capture, all these settings. Not only will it change the equipment on the inside of the airplane, it'll also change some of the settings as well, the callouts, and it does it for equipment, and it'll also give you these options for the display as well, what shows up on the displays. So again, this is not something you have to do, but if you're trying to keep it fairly realistic to what you might actually see in an actual cockpit of one of these planes, then certainly by all means take a few minutes to do this. You only really need to do it one time for each livery, and then I'm going to show you how to store it as well. So let me go ahead and get this open on my tablet here. Let's close this out. That way maybe PMDG can run a little smoother. Ooh, man, we are in the red. Good Lord. All right, let me close out a few screens while I wait for this to load on my tablet. Yeah, this laptop I have is very good with OBS, but when I start doing other things at the same time, it really does not like that at all. It's like, man, you're asking me to do too much, dude. Like, just, can we just do OBS? Can we not do, like, all the other screens at the same time? All right, let me drag you over there, KLM. And we can drag you over some more. And let's drag you over past Alaska. Very good. All right. So let's go ahead and get this set up, and then we're going to save it. And the way I save it is I save it right to, I save it right with the livery name. So let me go ahead and just close out this notepad. No, don't save. And now we should be good with rendering lag and encoding lag and all that good stuff. So, all right. So now that we're in this setup page, let's go to aircraft. And we're going to go to equipment, and now we're just going to follow the list. Now, some things on this list are, I'm sorry, some things in this display are not on the list. You know, which, you know, if they're not on the list, just set it however you want. One of those is in the simulation page where we, you know, can set the speed that we can increase the simulator. Some of it has to do with the tablet. So, all right, so let's follow this down. So we use Honeywell with this plane, which is different. I don't know if I've ever used Honeywell in any of these planes. Usually it's Collins. So, all right, hang on a second. This is asking me to save it to device. Okay. Then we have wings level. We have denying glide scope capture before localizer, fail pass. So fail pass, you have fail pass and you have fail pass OP. The main difference is fail pass OP will allow the plane to do a category 3 landing where you do rollout and flare. where it does the rollout and flare all on its own. Fail pass, we'll just do a category 2 landing. I have not seen any 737s yet with this setup guide that'll do a category 3. Now, when you're looking at the airplane, the easiest way to figure this out is these multifunction buttons here. If it's just these 2 buttons, then it's fail pass. If you do fail OP, it now gives you 3 buttons. So I don't know why they do that. I don't know if that's just so you can visually see quickly what's in the plane, but when it's 3 buttons, you can do category 3. When it's 2 buttons, you can do category 2. So we're going to leave this on fail pass because that's what's on this page here. Let's go to next. Double D rate, yes. Takeoff bump, yes. Now they have a company cost index of 30, so let's plug that in. And they have 6,000 for the runway length. Alternate airports require ILS, no. All right, V1 callout is on. Bank angle callout is on. We have approach minimums. We have actual minimums. Then we have 2,500 feet. Then let's see here. At 2,500, we have yes. 1,000 is yes. 500 is smart. $400, $300, and $200 are off. So $400, $300, and $200 are off. $100 is on. And then it's on until we get down to touchdown. So on. All right, this one's not in there. Terrain peaks. Oh yeah, this one is, okay, on. Terrain peaks is no. Show water in cyan is no. Never seen an airplane have that as an option, showing the water in blue, but whatever. All right, ETOPS is no. Dual battery package is a no. ETOPS cargo fire system is no. And let's see here, we have default acceleration, 1,500, then we have 1,500, 800, 3,000, 18,000. And then this should be flight level, yep, 180. And then we have engine out acceleration altitude, we have 1,500. Maximum number of fixed pages is 6. This one is 5. So let's type in a 5. There we go. And then let's see here. We have next up auxiliary fuel system. That's none. Okay. So this is for the heads-up display that we're getting ready to do. We have to do the standby instruments first. In KLM, they use analog. Now, they don't have a heads-up system in their airplane. I'm going to set it up so I can show you guys how to set it for landing. So even though they don't have it in the KLM airplane, I'm going to put it in this one because there's a way you can program it for landing where it puts the reticle right on the touchdown zone. We have to program in the height and the length of the runway, and then we also have to change the format of the layout. So I'm going to install it even though it's not in this airplane. It's a simulator, so I still want to play it the way I want to play it, but I also want to show you guys how to use the heads-up display. So it's a really cool feature. All right, yaw damp gauge is no. Performance improvement package is no. Okay, all this is no. Let's see what kind of brakes they use. They use carbon. Exterior light package is going to be original. No eyebrow windows. 2 cabin layout. Air stairs is a no. Cutoff switches is old. No yoke checklists for captain or co-pilot. They do give us headrests. That's good. No checklist, but we got headrests. All right. Auto ignition is no. That sucks. Pressurization panel is old. Window shades is no. Flight tablet, we're going to leave that on. Okay. Wi-Fi, we have not installed. And radio panels are classic. All right. So now this is all set. So now we can go to displays. So they use PFD-ND. We have split axis. Ground speed display is on. All right, these two are on. So everything is on until we get to PFD-ND. So, all right, so PFD-ND is off. Pitch limit's on. Round radio dials is off. Angle of attack is on. Landing bar is on. Okay, so everything is on. And track up is no. So let's do this. That's all on. All right, track up is no. Then we have on, yes, on. Next page should be 5,000. TCAS is on. Side by side. Okay, that's fine there. Side by side is no. EGT color is 5 minimum. Oil is %. Then on, and on. And one reference is always. We're almost done. This one here is 450 kilograms. I don't know if... Hang on a second. Okay. So we have 450 kilograms. Fuel total display is yes. We have kilograms. And then FCS indicator is off. And brake temperature indicator is off. All right. So now we have completely followed what PMDG put out there for equipment and displays. Failures. I always set this up for, and you can set these however you want, but I do turn on random failures. Last couple of times I've had hydraulic issues. I usually do one event for every 10 hours. So you input that and then click execute. And we're going to limit the event to 1 for every 10 hours. Let's click return. Let's click return. You can set up any failures you want. You can just click on here and, if you want to fire, you can program it. You can set it up as random. I have them all turned on. Maintenance, you can clear it out. You can service the system from these pages. So there's another maintenance page I'm going to show you as well. All right, so that's that aircraft setup page. Let's go back to setup. Let's go to options. Let's go to simulation. And here I just want to make sure that captain and first officer, everything is synced up. That way, when I change the barometric pressure on my side, it changes it on their side as well. IRS options, this is how quick the navigation aligns. I always leave it on 30 seconds. You can use it for whatever you want. I also have no for memory for the last position. That way, it doesn't show where we were at before. It just shows you the new position of the airplane. And then most of the time, I just leave everything on. You can play with these however you want. One thing about this page I do want to show you is page 5. This page here, time compression. So you can pause at the top of descent if you want. Auto time compression, you can do 2x, 4x, 8x, or 16x. TC/RS button for time compression. That's this button over here. If we click on the top of this button, I'm going to do this during the flight, it changes the numbers from white to green. When you're in green, you're in, you know, increased speed for the simulation. One nice thing about this plane is that when you are in that increased mode, when you come to make a turn or get to a waypoint, it slows down automatically, then it speeds back up when we get past the waypoint. And then, sorry about that. And then everything else, I pretty much just leave how it is. I usually leave the parking brake on simple. You can put it on realistic if you want. And then rudder steering, I leave on. That gives you more of an angle that you can, you know, go side to side with the airplane. You can do rudder, or you can do tiller and rudder. I just do rudder, that way I can just use the flight stick and twist it, or the triggers on my Xbox controller. So that's simulation performance. To be honest, I've never really touched anything in this section here. I just leave everything defaulted. And then colors, you can change the colors of a lot of the displays. You know, if you want to change, like, you know, the digits on this screen, right? You just click on this button, and then you have to plug in values from, I think it's from like 1 to 300. And then you just plug them in. Like if we want to say like 250, you know, for green, we can do that. Now this would be the new color. Or we could do like, 80 for red. You can play with it how you want. When you're done, you just click OK. If you ever want to reset it, just click reset, and it resets the color back to how it is. So if you ever want to change the color of all these different screens and what you're looking at, you certainly can. I do have the color changed for some of the dials, as you'll see. So once this is all done, we're going to save this, okay? So let's go to save, and we're going to type in KLM dot. Let me get this back up so I can plug in the actual. Even though there's only one KLM, I'm still going to type it out. So KLM, and then it's got registration number PH BCA. So BCA. And then we're going to click this line up here. Click execute. And now you just saved your panel. So every time you come into this airplane, you will now have this panel. Everything will be set up the way you want it. You know, we have the Honeywell system, not the Collins. You know, we have the old analog style gauges. So what I'm going to do is, let's return to setup. And I'm going to go ahead and exit out. Well, actually, I'm just going to restart. That way, make sure the changes show up and there's no issues. We're going to go in, we're going to choose that panel state. Even though it should already be set for that panel state, we're going to go in and do it anyways. This should be the only time you have to do this. You know, once it's set, it's set. All right. So let's come down yonder. You can use the captain side for this if you want. I just always use this one. I'll show you why in a few minutes when we get to it. So let's click and hold menu. Let's go back to setup. Let's go to panel state load. And let's click on our KLM PH BCA and click execute. And that'll ensure that we have this panel set up. Very good. Next thing I want to do is go to actions. And if we look outside, you can see we have these stairs right here. I want to get rid of those stairs. Okay. So in order to do that, we need to go to... Oh, you know what? Hang on a second. Let me go back out to the main screen. Let me turn off photogrammetry real quick. A lot of times, especially on Xbox, a lot of times with these, well, actually, really with any airport, the frame rate becomes pretty choppy on the ground until we get up in the air. So let me change that real quick. I just want to delete the cache real quick to make sure that you don't really run into issues. So yeah, let me turn off. And then what I usually do is, when I have this off, as soon as we get up in the air and as soon as I get up in the air, almost immediately, I'll pause the game, turn this on, and then go back to the flight. And then usually everything is fine at that point. All right, let's delete the cache. Apply that, and now let's go ahead and good there. Now let's go back. Let's go back to gate C14. And now we are ready to get our flight together for takeoff. We can get up and kiss Mother Earth right on the sky. Right on her sky. We like, mwah. Who loves you, Mother Earth? We do. We love you, Mother Earth. You're the greatest. You're the greatest thing since sliced bread. All right. Now we shouldn't have any kind of issues with frame rate or anything like that. And again, we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to set up the panel. Even though this should be correct already, I'm still going to go in and load the panel just to double check. Let's hold the menu button in again. Let's go to setup. Let's go to load. And now let's load in this one just to be safe. All right, let's go to actions. We're going to get rid of those stairs. Let's go to, oh, before we do that, if you have any maintenance issues while you're on ground, do ground maintenance here, and then we can service everything you see here. There's a good chance we're going to need to service the hydraulic fluid. I've been running into that issue on the last few flights. It's easy to do, just go in and click it. I've never used this auto cruise feature. Oh, okay, it's just time compression. Okay, so what this will do is, the auto time compression is where you click on that button I showed you. We can turn this on so when we get up to cruise, it goes to it automatically. We don't have to click anything. And then at the top of descent, we can pause to make sure we're good for descent. Sim rate increase, we can increase it by 1x or 2x, 4x. That's just the regular sim increase. That's not the one from PMDG. This is the one that's built in from Microsoft. So let's reset that. All right, so to get rid of the stairs, let's go to ground services. We're going to go to page 3, and we're going to release the stairs. And then we're going to click on this top right button, and we're going to click on Jetway. Now we'll just wait for the stairs to go away. All right, call over the Jetway. Page 1, Jetway right here. Click on button number 2. We can see we have ground power already. It's connected. Our wheel chocks are there. They're in. And you can see we're getting ready to get a nice big kiss right on the fuselage. Alright, so that's going to connect. Let's go over to our tablet. Now, I do have, SimBrief and Navigraph, subscriptions and all that. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. You can still fly the plane. I'm going to show you how to set it up a couple of ways. Let me make sure I plug in the time here. No, that's almost the right time. What did we say? It was 2 o'clock. All right, we'll leave that in for now. All right, so let's go to Flight Bag. Let's request our data from SimBrief. There we go. Here's our aircraft. Here's our flight. Could have sworn I changed the times, but yeah, I do have 12:01. Yeah, 2:01 to. All right, I don't know why it's got the wrong time in there. All right, departure. Let's get our weather. Now we have simple or we have METAR, right? Simple is that. METAR is that. So you can read it however you want. I do want to go into settings, so let's go to settings here. I have my SimBrief in, weather source is real world. I always have the on-screen keyboard on. It makes it much easier to type everything in. And then we can set this up however you want. We're going to use hectopascals for the pressure. We have knots, feet, meters, pounds. We're going to use kilograms since we're using kilograms for everything else. And we're going to save preferences. This eye is just that screen right there. This is for our charts. Here's our flight plan here. Now, if you have a mouse, you can click and drag the screen if you want. And then here's our home button here. So you can do the weights and fuel a couple of different ways. The easiest way is to bring it in from SimBrief. Let's get the airplane turned on, and then I'll show you how to do that. That's not the way we're going to do it today. That way is very easy to do. You just click a couple buttons. I'm going to show you the way where you have to type everything into this screen here. So first thing we're going to do is turn on the battery. Now, if you're doing this at nighttime, if you arm the emergency lights, all the interior lights are going to come on, so you'll be able to see the battery switch. So let's go ahead and turn on battery first. I should probably put my headphones on so I can hear everything. And then we're going to turn the ground power on. And let's go ahead and put our collision lights on. Let's come up here and let's turn on the panel lights up here. Let's come down here. We have flood lights, panel lights. Flood lights are good to use, at nighttime especially. We have our main panel lights here. Background lights, AF, SD floodlights. And then this one here, I always turn down a bit. That's for this screen here. This screen is really bright. So let's go ahead and turn these up just a little bit. And now let's go ahead and turn these on. And turn this one down a little bit. Very good. Now let's come back here to actions again. Alright, so airplane's up and running. We'll finish doing a lot of this stuff here in a moment. One thing I want to do first is I want to get the IRS aligned. So let's click on... Actually, let me turn on the sound so I can hear. Alright, so let's click on FMC. Says nav data out of position. Click clear. Let's go to position initialization. And we can type in the airport. K... What is it? Oh, it's EHAM, not KLH. EHAM, so EHAM. Sometimes it lets you plug in the gate as well. Let's see if it lets us do it. Yep, see, this time it did. Some airports you can't do it. Some airports you can. Alright, let's align the IRS now that we have that plugged in. So let's come up here to IRS display. Let's turn this dial to heading STS. And then we're just going to turn both of these dials to nav. Let's wait for these screens to turn on and get aligned. Down here, let's go to page number 2. We can see north 52, east 04. Let's check that on our flight plan here. So let's click on this notebook page up on the top left. Let's drag you up here until we get to our actual route. And let's, I'm sure it's correct, but let's just double check anyways. Yep, Sheeple, north 5280. Yep, that is correct. So let's go ahead and click on either one of these. Let's go back and let's enter it here. Now we are all set. You can see that our dial just spun around. We are all lined up, so all that is good. Now, if you want to bring, we're going to bring the route in. Well, you know, we might not bring the route in. You know what? We'll type the route in manually today. If you want to bring everything in from SimBrief, if you have a SimBrief subscription and Navigraph, but let's make sure we clear out EHAM first. If you want to bring everything over automatically, click Flight Plan Request. You can go to prior routes here if you want. This is the route that I have built here. If we click on this, now we can set the payload automatically. If you want to do that, just click Set here. If you want to set the fuel automatically, click Fuel here. And then if you want to select the route and set that automatically, click here. Now, even though you do this automatically, you still need to come over here and go to Ground Services. Go to the next page. Whatever number shows up here for fuel, you got to type in here. Whatever number shows up for passengers, you have to type in here. And same with the weights, okay? So we're not going to do that. We're just going to set it up based off of the flight page here, this page here. So let's go up to the fuel. So our total fuel block today is 92.39, okay? Now, when you're setting up, you can do a couple of different things. You can go back to this main screen here. Let's click on fuel. We can type in the exact amount here, okay? Or we can just put in any amount. Let's put in, say, 5,000, okay? Now, if you were to type in the actual amount here, that's fine. Put it in, click return, go back to Ground Services, go to fuel, and then type in the exact amount here, which will show it here as well. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to call over the fuel truck, okay? So let's request the fuel truck. And let's type in 9239. And then once the fuel truck arrives, this start will turn green. We can then start fueling, okay? Fuel truck should arrive pretty soon. They usually come over pretty quick. Yeah, see, he's backing up right now. So he's attaching. Let's wait for him to turn green, and then we will go ahead and set up our passengers and our weights and all that. Now, I need to warn you, if you are using Simbri and playing on Xbox. Alright, so it turned green, we can click start, and now he will fuel us up to 9239. If you are playing on Xbox and using Simbri, when you're building your route in Simbri, you need to use AirRack 2204. Do not use the most current version of the AirRack. This plane does not accept it. So you will be sending over waypoints and SIDS and stars that just the plane does not recognize. You need to use AirRack 2204, which is what I used here. So just please remember that. If you're on PC, you should be fine to use the new one. Alright, so we have 131 passengers, 3.3 cargo. Okay. So let's come down here. Now we're going to set the passengers up to go through the jetway, and we're going to set the weight to be automatic to where we don't have to call the trucks over, okay? So let's click return. Let's go to payload. So we have 131 passengers, so we'll do 10 in first class. We're going to do 121 in... Oh, you know, hang on. That's right. We can do... Let's do 0... Sorry. Do 0 for first class. 0 for economy. And then here we have 3.3 in cargo, I believe is what it said. Yeah, 3.3 in cargo. So here we are going to, let's type in a 1500 in the front and 1800 in the rear. Alright, now let's click return. Let's go to ground services. Next page. Next page, we're going to now click this. We're going to type in 131. Oh yeah. So when you do that and it's still gray here, it's because the door is not open yet. So go to return, go to doors, and let's open this left door here. Now we can go back to ground services, go back to page 3, and now we can start boarding our aircraft. Let's go to the last page here for, so you can see we have the exact weights here. There's no reason to call over any of these vehicles. We can just type in the exact amounts. So 1500 and 1800. There we go. So that's all set. One thing you should take note of, go to payload. Notice our center of gravity is now changing. Whatever this final number is, we need to keep track of because we're going to have to plug that in. So let's get our route set up now. So first thing I want to do is just talk to the ATC and find out which runway they want us taken off from, because they usually don't give us the runway that we really want to use. They usually give us a different runway. Now this runway here takes off, runway 24 takes off to the west. Usually with the ATC, we can click on the opposite direction, and usually it gives us the runway we want. So let's try that. So we're gonna say depart east, since we're going west.
Skip all ground KLM 125 with Quebec request taxi for takeoff east departure.
KLM 125 taxi to and hold short of runway 27 via taxiway Alpha for Echo Alpha Alpha 10 Bravo Echo Tree.
Yeah, runway 27 isn't terrible.
Echo Tree Golf for Echo for November 1.
It's close to 24.
Tower on 118.28 when ready.
Alright, so we're going to use runway 27. Let me see if we can use runway 27 with this takeoff. Nope, we can't. Alright, let me find out the correct SID real quick that I can use. And then we'll start programming the route. It should be something... Yeah, it's almost the exact same thing. It's just a couple letters off. Alright, let's go back in here. Let's start setting up our route. So, as you can see on here, so I'm not going to keep going back and forth between the FMC to here, but this is the route we're going to put in. Now we have a different runway and takeoff. Andic is still the transition. Everything else is going to be the same. So I'm going to type all this in. I have it pulled up on here with Navigraph. You can pull that up on Navigraph, the flight plan. So let's go, let's click return. So let's type in EHAM. Origin. Let's type in EFHK. Now again, if you bring this over from the flight plan request here, you don't need to type any of this in. It's automatically done. The flight number is KLM 1253. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is go to Depart, Arrival. We're going to click on Departure. We're going to find our runway. Runway 27. We're going to find our departure, which is SPY 2P. Alright, very good. Let's go back to route. Go next. Okay, so from Andic, we are picking up a highway in the sky. That highway is N, like north, 873. Now, how you get to the waypoint is entered on this side here, the left side. If we are going directly to a waypoint, which we are going to do a couple of times here, you do not need to input anything on this left side. Just type the waypoint in over here on the right. So let me show you. So with this airway, we're going to click on this button here on the left. Our exit point is Juist, J-U-I-S-T. Now we have another airway. We have P729. Put this on the left. Now we exit there at DHE. Now the next waypoint is directly to. So let's type that in. We have D-O-S-U-R. So we can now just click the right side here. Now see it says direct. And then we have direct again to ERNOV. ERNOV. Let's click next page. Let's look over here to our co-pilot side and see what's going on here. Next page. All right, so we can release the fuel truck now. And passengers are still loading. All right, very good. So we just typed in ERNOV, I believe. Yep. All right, now we're going direct to ROGMI, ROGMI. Then we have Evadi. And then we have one more airway. So we have Y370. And we're taking that to DIVAM. DI Victor AM. This is actually a transition for our approach, our arrival. Let's click activate, execute. Now let's go back to departures and arrival. Now we're going to click on Helsinki arrival. Now I plan on doing the RNAV landing for 22 left. I have the ILS as the backup, but we're going to do RNAV for this one. So we have RNAV 22 left. Bifix is the transition. And the arrival is Diva 4A. And now let's click execute. So that is our route. We can now click on legs. And I just want to double check our route. Okay. So we're going to come up. We're going to turn this dial here to plan. And we're just going to leave, I guess we'll just leave it on 20 miles. So let's come down here. And on the FMC, we have this step button on the bottom right. Let's just click that, and that's going to step us through. You click it for each waypoint. We are going to have a discontinuity or a vector coming up. Yeah, see, we have vectors from Bifix to Canon. Bifix doesn't know how to get us there, so we can create another waypoint if you want. We can create one after Canon, but we're just going to leave this here how it is. If you do want to create another waypoint, it's not terribly difficult to do. Let's get rid of this vector first. So to get rid of it on this plane, pretty much with every Boeing that I'm aware of, you want to get rid of vector, click on the line underneath of it. So click on Bifix, and now click on the vector line. And now click execute. And you can see that connects this now. I would like to create a waypoint after Canon, that we can use. So actually, let's click one before Bifix. So let's click on Bifix. Now we can see Bifix has a heading of 278. We're going to plug in the reciprocal value of that. So let's plug in 98. Click the little slash, and let's just set it up for like 2 miles before. Okay? And now click on Bifix. Ugh. Why won't you let me do it? It always lets me do it. Maybe we need to be in the air to do it. It always let me do it before. Bifix, 98. That's weird. Alright, maybe we need to be in the air to do it. Alright, we'll try it in the air. It always let me do it before, but that's how you would create another waypoint. Like, if we wanted to have a waypoint before bifix, that's how you're supposed to do it. I don't know why it's not letting me do it now. I've done it on other videos. You can watch other 737 videos that I've done where it actually does it, but... Alright, whatever. Alright, passengers are done. So we can now go to page number 1. Let's get rid of the jetway. Get the APU turned on. Let's turn on fuel pump. Let's turn on the APU. Let's go ahead and arm the emergency lights. Seatbelts on. Activate the electric hydraulic pumps. Turn on APU bleed. We are flying at an altitude of 37,000 feet today, so let's go ahead and program in 37,000 feet. The altitude of our landing today is 180, so we'll do 200. Turn on the yaw dampener. ER1, APU generator. Alright, APU generator is good, so let's turn that on. We can turn on the packs on auto for now so we can get some air in the cabin. We're going to turn those off when we start the engines, but we can put them on for now. Alright, so this is all set up for now up here. We can now release the ground power unit. And let's make sure our parking brake is on. Set the chocks. Remove them. Alright, one last thing on this screen here. Payload, we have 24.6 is our takeoff CG, so we gotta make a good idea to remember that. Let's set up our initialization page, get our V speeds, and then we'll back up. Sound good? Sound good. I don't know why it wouldn't let me do that waypoint. We'll try it again in the air, but maybe they got rid of that with the last update, but for a long time we've been able to create waypoints, especially in this plane we've been able to do it. Alright, so click the initialization page. We're going to now perform initialization requests. You can click load, execute. Alright, so all of this is correct, except for a couple of things. So, one thing we need to do is plug in the correct cruising altitude. So go to cruise. Let's plug in 37,000. Execute. Let's go back to initialization. The transition altitude is actually 3,000, so let's change that. And we need to get our fuel plan there, so let's come up here. Let's go down to actually up, I guess. Right here. So we have 9.0 is actually the fuel, so let's plug that in. 9.0. we go. 24.6, N1 limit. Now let's go ahead and get our V speeds. We're going to come back up to this tablet. Let's go ahead and click on the little circle button there. Performance tool. Let's do import. And then let's pick runway 27. Hey, what's up, dude? Yeah, I haven't... Yeah, it's been a minute since you caught me live. Yeah, man. How's your weekend going, Keith? Alright, we got runway 27. Let's import this from the aircraft. Let's import the weather. And you can see it's 1026, the hectopascals. Let's change our barometric pressure. So it shows up down here. The dials right here for it. We're going to click on the fat dial, change that to hectopascals, and now we're just going to turn the thinner dial. Hey, what up, Frank? We got 1026. Very good. Now let's click calculate. So you can see we have flaps 5, takeoff 1. Temperature is 39, so let's plug in 39 degrees down here. So 39, and we're going to click on this top left button, and we're going to do takeoff 1 because that's what it says. Now let's go to takeoff, and before you do anything here, let's go to the next page. We need to get the slope and the wind speed. So the slope is -0, wind speeds 6 knots by 310. So let's come down yonder. We have -0, which I didn't know was a thing, but I guess it is in the simulator. So we have -0, and then 310 by 6. Now let's click previous page. Let's input 5 for the flaps. Let's see if the center of gravity is brought in automatically. I think it will be. Click the button. Yep, automatic. And now we have our V speeds here. So 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so we are all set and ready for pushback. Let's go ahead and let's call over the... Let's call our bus over. Where's our chariot? Let's go to pushback here. Let's click on tug. And we are going to do standard L, which is where they back you up and then move you out like they normally do. So we need to go... Damn, I always get this confused. Okay. I think we need to go nose to the right. Oh, we got to close our door. Our door's still open. And them flight attendants, they slipping. Hang on a second. Go return. Go to doors. Close this door up. Alright, I think it's going to be nose to the right, so let's try that.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start. They want the tail to our left. Roger that. Ready to push. Tail to the left. Park brakes off.
Parking brakes off.
Brakes released.
Let's click on system. Okay, we do have hydraulic fluid. Last few flights I haven't had any, so we do have it, so that's good. Welcome back.
Brakes released. Here we go.
Alright, we have a little bit of fuel in our center tank. So let's turn on all the fuel pumps. Let's turn off the packs again. And let's crank one of these engines on. Click at ground. Click at the ground. We're going to wait for N2 to pop up a bit. So N2 is rolling. just click on number 2 there, and that'll put on the engine. Oh, good, I did do it right. I always get confused on which way the nose, like, if it's like looking at the nose this way, or if it's from inside, but I guess it's from inside, so that's good. Alright, our V2 speed is 147.
Pushback complete. Park and brake, please.
Park and brake. Yeah, I haven't flown a KLM plane in a while. Plus, it was like the only plane that I have in the 737 where I haven't done all the setup, like behind the scenes stuff, and I wanted to
Alright, steering pin is disconnected.
show all that.
Slow release from guidance on your left. Have a good flight.
Alright, we can turn on the other engine. Alright, that is rolling. Let's click on cutoff again. Put the gas on. Our runway heading is 265. Let's plug that in. Now, being a simulator, you don't really have to like play along with altitude restrictions and all that. We're going to. Let's first get this screen for takeoff, so click return, click menu, click FMC, and we're going to go to we're going to go to N1 right there. Let's set a fix for our takeoff. Let's do EHAM. And let's do a 25-mile radial. So we're going to click the slash, then 25. Now we can go back to legs. Alright, let's look at our chart for takeoff. See if there's any restrictions, and then we'll taxi out. So let's go to the flight bag. Let's click on this button here. Let's go search. Departure. Let's click on SID. And this one should be 10-3V7. So it's down here. Okay, this one right here, 10-3VB. So let's go ahead and see if we have any restrictions on takeoff. We have to be over 9,500 feet. Other than that, there are no restrictions. So we're going to take off here. Max of 220 knots for the turn. And then we just have to be over 9,500 feet by there. So no, we are good. No restrictions. Let's go ahead and taxi out. Let's put our flaps down to 5. We need to set our takeoff trim as well. So let's go back to the performance page. We can see our trim is right at 5. So let's spin this wheel till we get to 5. Alright, close enough. Let's put the brakes on RTO for takeoff. Verify takeoff speeds. Alright, sounds good. Anytime you move the flaps, it asks you to do that. Let's put on the transponder. Weather is not modeled, at least in Xbox, so don't worry about that. put on our flight directors. Now Giga Chad, we're going to put him on flight plan. Click on data, so any altitude and speed constraints show up. Alright, now that the engines are on, we can now put the isolation valve on auto, put the packs on auto, put the rest of our lights on, logo lights, wing, wheel well, put the engines on continuous, put this on taxi. Let's turn on the generators. We are all set. We can now turn the APU bleed off. We can now turn the APU off. We can click this master caution, and let's put you on that for now. Bring you all the way in. Let's click on data, and we are good to taxi. So let's go. Yep, KLM. I haven't done a KLM plane in a long time. I wanted to do all the setup stuff for the behind the scenes, like for equipment and displays and all that. And this is like the only plane I haven't done that on. I never think about flying KLM. There's so many choices with the liveries that I have. I just never think about doing KLM. Now, if you want to use slew mode, you certainly can. I might wind up doing that, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I might do slew mode. It'll get us over there faster, but this is one of the handcrafted airports, so it might not be bad to kind of tour around. Flying Dutchman. Wasn't that a character on SpongeBob? I knew they had a flying pirate ship captain. Wasn't he called the Dutchman? I could have sworn he was called the Flying Dutchman. You know what? I don't know if I've seen one either. I've been to Europe a couple of times. I don't think I've ever seen a... Yeah, I don't think I have either, dude. Alright, we're living our best life as a internet pilot, trying to make our way to Takeoff. We can probably turn the VORs off as well over here. We don't really need them. Let's do that. Let's toggle this switch, and it says inoperable, but that might be for the ADF at the bottom, because VOR2 definitely works. Why are you having us turn there? Let's turn at the next one. Yeah, this one coming up. Alright, runway turn off lights. It's a big airport, man. And I can't wait to get to Finland. Buy me some blonde hair, blue-eyed swimsuit model. We should stop here, but you know, it's a simulator, so it's all good. All right, everything is looking good. Hydraulics are okay. Once we get up in the air, we'll stop, we'll pause, put on photogrammetry, and then go back to climbing. We're going to stop up here, get our clearance for takeoff so they don't yell at us. If you have a propeller plane, you can pull off on the side here and do all your before takeoff checklist for running up the engine and all that. Alright, let's turn on the landing lights. Turn on our strobe lights. Let's turn off our taxi lights. And let's turn on the auto throttle and LNAV and VNAV. Alright, let's taxi out. We can put our heads-up display down. Actually, you know what? We'll leave the heads-up display up since they don't have it in this airplane. We'll just use it on landing that way. Well, okay. Well, you know what? I'll show you in the air what the difference looks like. Because I have it in here so I can show you how it looks during landing, but... Alright. So, before we go, PMDG, they have TOGA. Now, I don't know how it is on PC. I'm pretty sure it's the same. There's this screw right here. Right here. That screw, when you click it, will activate TOGA. So, let's go ahead and get rolling, and we'll do that. So, park and brake off. Give it a little bit of fuel. Engines look good. Let's click the TOGA screw. That was weird. I don't know why that master caution came in.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Alright, let's pause this real quick. Let's go ahead and turn photogrammetry back on now that we're up in the air. We'll put multiplayer on as well, see if we see anybody. All right, very good. Let's go back.
Skip all tower KLM 125 continue east departure.
Let's click on the landing gear and drag it down to the middle so we can lock it into place.
Skip all tower KLM 1253
We'll put the autopilot on in a moment.
is type Boeing 737 miles west of Skip 2007. Request flight following.
All right, let's click on the standard button for standard pressure.
0735 KLM.
All right, autopilot on. We can put up one flap.
Roger KLM 1253.
Two flap. And all the flaps. There we go. We are all set for pretty much most of the trip right now. I mean, we obviously have to monitor stuff now. I can't, for some reason, with this plane, I cannot go back to the fixed camera view. So when I go into drone mode like this, I can activate the fixed camera, like where I'm sitting, like sitting inside the plane or sitting where the wing is, or, you know. I can't do that right now. If I were to do that, for some reason, it takes us out of any kind of climb or descent mode. So, like, if we were descending right now and I did that, we would level off. If I was to do that right now, we would actually level off and we wouldn't be climbing anymore. So, we'll do those other views after we're done getting up to 37,000 feet. Put our landing lights away. They're done playing with us for a while. Turn off the runway lights. And turn off the logo light, wing light, and wheel well. And we can come down here and we can do progress. We are good. We're going to level up a little bit so we can gain some speed. Then we're going to go back up in the air. We are on our way to Helsinki. Now, we could increase the speed of the sim right now. We'll do it once we get up to 37,000. But you could really do it right now. And everything would be fine. The speed increase from PMDG, not the speed increase from Microsoft. Oh, you know, we never turned the auto brake off. Let's do that. And let's pull up our chart and see where we're at. There, so there's our plane. You can also click on this plane icon. It'll either put a dot, nothing, or the plane. while we're doing this, let's go to arrival. And let's plug in our approach and our arrival. So we have 10 2L for our arrival, and the approach we have 22 left. Yep, so we're gonna pin this one and that one. So now when we go to pinned, under star we have it, under approach we have it. So yeah, so that's a lot of stuff to get this plane up and running. You know, like I said, it's, you know, if you want to do all those setups, you certainly can. It's not a requirement. It's a simulator, so just, you know, play it however you want to play it, really. You know, some days, you know, I don't do any of that stuff. Some days I just start at the runway and just go. But if you have time and you want to try to be as, I guess, as realistic as possible, you can certainly do all those setups. That's a big old bridge. Look at that thing. Wow. Look at that bridge. Another big old bridge. All right, let's turn the cabin lights off. There we go. Cabin lights are off for the remainder of the trip until we get close to landing, I guess. We should have live weather on. Yep, live weather's on. I left the time from when this plane actually flew. Yeah, man. Like, do they use those lakes for anything? Like, do people actually use that for, like, fishing or boating? Or I know, like, in America, like, if there's a pond, somebody's fishing in it. And if it's a lake, somebody... Well, yeah, I guess, look, there's a boat over there, it looks like. And that lake over there. That'd be like the perfect kind of lake to do like water sports and stuff like that. Man, if I was in like one of those city builder games, I'd be building like a canal from that lake to the main body of water. I'd have to go over to people's homes and knock on their door and be like, "Hey, you got to move. We need the space where your house is, so we can build a waterway." At least it looks like a boat. Maybe that's the Loch Ness Monster. Maybe that's just how big he is from, you know, 20-some thousand feet in the air. Got a lot of little bodies of water around here. That's not us. It's very interesting looking at the difference between America and Europe. Like Europe, a lot of places, it's like these long, thin, strips of land. And in America, it's a lot of circles and like blocks of land, like everything's like in a square. But in Europe, everything's like these long strips. I always thought the farming simulator was bullshitting when you do a European map and it was like these long strips. I'm like, man, they don't have long strips like that in Europe. And sure enough, they do. I didn't know the farming simulator got that right. I thought they were bullshitting the whole time. You know, it looks like you can go from that big body of water down this water here into this lake and then take this little canal all the way. It looks like you can take it all the way down to here. That's pretty wild. If you can do that, that's pretty cool. I wonder what city this is that has this waterway. Actually, it might show on the map. Let me see. Oh, fuel. Alright, we gotta turn the center tanks off. That looks like it would be... I don't know what city that is. Oosterwold. Drockton. Wingenwood. Wingenwood. Netherlands. What part of... What are we over? Are we over... Oh, I think we're still over Amsterdam. And we passed partly into Germany. And then we go into Denmark area. I believe that's going to be Denmark. I don't know. Man, it's 1 o'clock already? Jeez. Sunday is gone already. Sunday is gone. It's already 1 o'clock. It wouldn't be a big deal if I wasn't working again. Like if I was still out of work, everything, I wouldn't care if it was Sunday. Man, now I gotta go to sleep and wake up at certain times. Man, it's rough. It's rough being an adult. And like, I really don't like working. It sucks. There's so much stuff to do during the day, like sleeping, eating, playing games. Like, how can we get the government to pay for that? In America, how can we get the government to pay for us just to collect money and just play video games all day? There's got to be somebody in Congress we can talk to get that going. That would be wonderful. That would be the greatest. Contact your local congressman today and write them a letter, send them an email saying, look, tired of working, tired of paying taxes, I just want to sit in my drawers, eat pizza, and play video games. Make that happen. There's Denmark pulling up one, I believe. Alright, sounds like we're leveling off. Yep. Let's go ahead and click on altitude hold. This will keep us at 0.79 as well, which is where we need to be for a while. When we get to VNAV, we gotta... Oh no, 0.79 is okay. Alright, very good. So we have 560 miles until we descend, so let's go ahead and do our speed increase. So remember, we come down to this TCSR button. Now, if you're using Xbox, I've never been able to get it to work with the cursor or with like the little dot like this. I've only been able to get it to work with the mouse. So, but what you want to do is click on this top little button here on the very top of it. These numbers turn green, and when available, this plane will go into 8X mode. When it's about a half a mile out of, we can see it's speeding up now. When we're about a half a mile out from a waypoint, it'll slow down like it did. It'll make the turn through the waypoint, and then like a mile-ish, half a mile after the waypoint, it will speed back up again. I never changed the avatars. We still got fighter pilots as our pilots. That'd be something, wouldn't it? If you get on a passenger jet and you see two flight officers, like from the Air Force, piloting the plane. Like, what the hell? Why do you guys have oxygen masks running up to your face in the helmet? What's up with that? But yeah, we'll stay in 8X mode the whole time until we must be coming up on a waypoint. We're slowing down. I read somewhere, I don't remember where I read it, but PMDG does not recommend using 16X. I don't know why, but they didn't really elaborate on. I think, well, maybe they did, but I think they said something about like it could like disengage the autopilot but whatever it is, it seems like it's too fast most of the time to use. I've never tried it personally. Maybe we should try it one of these days. Hello, Eyes. How are you doing? How are you doing? What's up, dude? Yeah, I haven't seen your name in a while. It's all good. You here now? Stay for as long as you can. It's all good. That's good you're doing good, though. The days go by a lot easier when they're good days, instead of having shitty days and dragging on. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. It has been a while. Yeah, she's doing much better. Thank you. Yeah. She got a good amount of help in the hospital, and she's been doing much better. Thank you. Yeah. Certainly makes things a little easier at home when that's something I don't always have to worry about all the time, so to say. But yeah, she's doing much better. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . All right, we still got about 440 miles left. Hey, congratulations. Did you graduate, like from... Oh, well, that's okay. Still graduated. I'm sure that's a relief not having to, you know, do any more of the schoolwork, you know, the work and finals and tests and going to class and all that. Hey, now you get to join the world of you know, paying taxes and having a job and making money and, you know, all the fun stuff we get to do when we're not in school. Yeah, I'm actually going back to school and getting finishing up my bachelor's degree once my kids are out of high school. So my son's got one last year, my daughter's got 3 years left, and once they're done that, I'm gonna go back and finish getting my bachelor's degree. Yeah, that's great, man. Congratulations on graduating. That's awesome. Yeah, I kind of miss being in college. College was really fun. Like, my last couple years of high school was really fun. And then college was certainly fun. But I dipped out of college after I got my associate's degree to pursue music. And I did really well with music. I just wish I didn't listen to my parents back then, because I probably wouldn't be on YouTube now doing this. I'd probably be on tour somewhere playing drums. But yeah, they kind of talked me out of moving to Los Angeles and pursuing it full time. But yeah, I'm definitely good enough to play on a professional level. I listened to them and kind of put my sticks down and took a real job, and kind of wish I didn't listen to them and followed what I really wanted to do. So kind of learned a lesson to, you know, follow your heart, follow your gut. You know, if your gut's telling you to do something, just do it. If your heart's not in something, don't do it. It's just gonna make life more of a struggle to go through when your heart's not in what you're doing. Keep looking backwards. I recorded a video without any commentary, and I finished editing it on the stream last night, and I've been trying to upload it ever since. So I think it's finally working. I ran into issues for some reason with Filmora. When I'm using Filmora, sometimes it just does not want to cooperate and export the video properly, and it gets hung up at like different parts of the video. But it looks like it's hopefully working now, so I can get this video up and put it out there. It's an ATR flight. Air Caribbees, whatever. It's Air Caribbean. I think it's not Air Caribbean, but it's Air Caribbees, I think is what it's called. But it's from the other airport on St. Martin down to Guadalupe. It was a real flight that took place yesterday. I never realized that St. Martin had 2 airports. That's crazy that, well, not crazy, but that's amazing, actually, that an island that small has 2 airports. Amazing enough, it's probably not going to be too much longer before we start descending. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, we got under 300 miles to descent. So while this is happening, let me go over the heads-up display here. So the normal heads-up display yeah, I can understand that. I miss my friends too from college, you know, and from high school too. Well, I still have some friends, but it's not like it used to be. Now we're all older and have families, and you know, it's not the times we had back then. But yeah, it makes sense. Well, hopefully you guys will be able to stay in contact and hey, yeah, that's right. Well, I'm not married anymore, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, man, the wife yelling. Yeah, I knew my wife and I were not going to work out when she got rid of my PlayStation 2. So I guess this was like, about probably 15 years ago now. Metallica came out with a Guitar Hero for Metallica, and Metallica is like my favorite band of all time, and I used to love playing that game. And I didn't play it excessively, you know. I'd come in from work and play like 2 or 3 songs, and that was that. And well, I came in from work one day, and I went down the basement to go play it, and it was not there. I went upstairs to say, hey, Samantha, what happened to the PlayStation? She was like, oh, I took it to Goodwill and donated it with the guitar. You know, it was taking up too much space downstairs. I was like, what? What? It's a PlayStation 2. It's like the size of a DVD player. And the guitar, like, anyways, I was like, oh my God. Like, we are not going to work out, honey. We are not going to work out. I hear you. Yeah, when I was in college, I had one girl in the dorm that I could hook up with on a regular basis, who would only do one of 2 things. And then there was this girl, Heather, that would come into town once every month and a half maybe. And she would stay for like a week. And so I would hang out with her. She would do the other thing that the other girl wouldn't do. So I had one girl that would only do one thing, wouldn't do the other thing. And then I had another girl, Heather, who would do the other thing the other girl wouldn't do, but wouldn't do the. So it was like they each did one thing. So it was great. Well, man, yeah, I missed that too, man. Like just being in the dorm room and getting that urge and just knocking on the door. Yeah, I could have maybe had a YouTube channel for touring and stuff like that. Yeah. I think there's still a chance for me to do music still, but I need to be able to convert part of the house into a place where I can actually do it. Oh, it's definitely Filmora. It wasn't my fault. Never my fault. Never, never, never. Never my fault. But it looks like it's finishing up now. Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes, like CapCut works perfect, but Filmora, every once in a while, I run into an issue. All right, so this is what the heads-up display looks like here, normally. So we're going to change it for our arrival, for our approach, okay? So, let's see, we got 171 left, so let's go back to this performance page here. Let's go to landing dispatch. Let's grab our airport. Runway is going to be 22 left. And this has the length and the elevation, which is what we need. So 148. I'm not going to remember those numbers, but 148 I'll remember right now. So what we want to do is we want to come down here. Well, good. That's cool. Thank you. So we're going to click this mode button. That's going to change it for I for instrument, standby as visual. We're going to click on runway. We're going to plug in that 148 and then hit enter. And then I want to say the length is 11,427. So click on runway, click on it again. Now we have our length. We have 11,427. Enter. And now we have the height and the length. Oh yeah, no, not yet. Just getting ready for it. 11,457. Let's change that. So we have 11,457. 11,457. All right, very good. So now, if we look at our heads-up display, we can see a lot of the clutter is gone. So this is set up now for instrument landing. And then when we get the runway in sight, now this reticle, since we have the height and the length of the runway, this reticle should center up on the sweet spot of the touchdown zone for the runway. Ooh, let's take ourselves out of manage speed mode. Let's do let's click on this and go back to regular speed. Well, I have had experience doing that in the past with the bands that I was playing in, but I never really know how to start the video. I just kind of just go with whatever pops in my head. Usually it's the same thing every time, but yeah, I've done my share of screaming in bands, so my singing I've tried a few times. I can backup sing a little bit, but not too good at the backup singing. All right, let's go to descent. Let's get our forecast for descent. So let's request the winds. Oh yeah. Yeah, PlayStation 2 took up too much space. Just got rid of it. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it to this day. Alright, click load. So now we have our descent forecast. Let's click execute. For now, let's just plug in a speed and flaps. We can change it later. But now we won't get any kind of error messages. And with this particular landing now, I don't... Yeah. It was a little difficult trying to keep them separated when Heather was in town. I didn't, now I wasn't committed to either one, but I just didn't want to ruin the game that I had going because it was great. Alright, let's look at our approach here. This runway may change. I don't know, I may not contact the ATC. We'll see. Usually when I contact them, they give me a different runway to use. Alright, let's look at our... Alright, so let's plug in 114.2. That'll allow us to generate a final approach course and a glide path for landing. Oh yeah, now it's no problem. I can put whatever I want in the house now. No problems. What did that say, 114.2? Yeah. Yep, I can put whatever I want in the house now. No problems at all. Alright, so we're going to put this on both sides. The 114. You see, these are colors that I changed, by the way. When I was talking about it in the beginning about changing colors of like numbers and screens and all that. Alright, 114.2. And the course is 217. So let's plug that in. Yeah, I don't know if she was just, like, trying to pick a fight, or if she was upset that I'd come in from work and play that instead of hanging out with her right away. But like, taking up too much space is crazy. That's crazy. All right, let's plug the ILS info in just as a backup. So we got 110.3. So let's plug that in as a backup. Alright, and we are all set. Let's put the heads-up display away. We're getting ready to pull into finish airspace. 31 miles to descent, so let's plug in 30,400. Let's click on VNAV. So we have 30,400 is the first stop on the way down. Man, they are blanketed in clouds. Look at that. can't go back into that wing view pretty much the rest of the trip, because it won't descend automatically. It'll level off. Like I said a while ago, that for some reason when I go into that fixed camera mode, it levels the plane off. It stops the plane from any kind of vertical guidance. It just levels it off. Ascending, descending, cuts it right off, levels you out. It's only been doing that since the last update. You can do drone mode, but can't do the other mode. All right, there's our top of descent. Let's see, what is the transition altitude for ascending here? Let's see. Go here. Transitions by ATC. Shoot. Runway elevations 5 hectopascals. Well, let's plug in 5,000 just to. Actually, there is no. I don't think there is a place to plug it in on this plane. With Airbus, you can do it. All right, let me try to recreate that waypoint again that I tried to do before. Let me see if it'll do it. All right, we have 5 fix. Alright, let's do bifix. Let's do 81 and 2 miles. Yeah, it still doesn't allow it. That is really weird. Can't change, we can't add waypoints anymore. We used to be able to add them, but they don't allow it anymore. Huh. It's 081. Great. Ah, there we go. All right, execute, and now click this and that, and now we just created a waypoint. Oh yeah, I had to plug in a whole number, like 081, not just 81. We'll see how that looks when we get up to it. But this will give us more space to make a turn. For our landing bifix is the initial. Here, I'll show you on the chart. So let's go back to this one. So the way this landing is set up, we're going to be coming in like parallel to the airport, and we hit the one waypoint ends here, and then we have bifix. So what I did was, just now I created a waypoint like 3 miles before bifix, so we can actually make this turn and hit bifix the way that it's supposed to be, you know, the angle that we're supposed to hit it on. So we'll see how it looks when we get closer, but that's what I just created. So you got to click, if you ever want to do that, just click on whatever waypoint you want to adjust. You click on it, and then you add the reciprocal of whatever course it's on. So like I said, this is 261. The reciprocal of that, you know, 180 degree difference is 81 degrees. So I plugged in 081, you do this little slash right here. You put in how many miles you want, and then click execute. Click on the waypoint again that you're trying to adjust, and it will put it in right before it. So good shit. All right, let's set up a fix for landing. Let's do this airplane. You can actually plug in the 25. I didn't realize we were descending. Alright, so let's do runway 22 left. And we want to do 5 miles as a reminder for the landing gear and 10 miles for flaps 15. Alright, now we can come back over here and do program. Let's actually plug in 10,000 feet. We have an RNP, required navigation performance. Nope, I don't see an RNP anywhere. Usually it's like 0.3, 0.11. Yeah, I don't see one anywhere. So we'll leave it alone. But usually with these RNAV landings, they'll give you a required navigation performance. Right now it's on 2. And our actual navigation performance is, you can see here, 0.06, which is really good. Look how cloudy it is, wow. God, I'd love to be sitting on the wing right now. Just watching, but can't do that anymore. Alright, let's bring up our arrival. Here, let's go to landing en route. Let's plug in 22 left. Bring in the aircraft details. Do flaps 40. All reverses are operational. Packs are on. Auto brakes will set to 3. VREF, let's add 5 to that. Import the weather and click calculate. So we got plenty of space to land. Do that over here too. And we'll update that. We'll play with that a few times on the way because the weight's going to change of the airplane. So import the weather, calculate. Wow, VREF for 147. That's kind of high. Alright, bow brake is braking. Maybe we'll contact the ATC and... Oh, you can see the waypoint right here now. Yeah, before it was like right here to here. Now we can kind of go up and around a little bit, so that's good. Alright, there's our airplane. Wonder if we're too far away to contact the ATC. Let's see if we can contact them and find out which runway they want. Oh, I just saw it. There we go, number 3. 4.
Helsinki Tower KLM 125 tree is 5 miles southwest flight level 205. Echo to land.
KLM 1253 Helsinki Tower.
Shit.
Fly left base runway 33 KLM 1253.
Hey, runway 33. You. Well, let's just keep on going with this descent. Let me pull up Navigraph and figure out runway 33. Shouldn't have contacted them. They always give me a different runway. According to Navigraph, that's not being used either. Alright, let's change this up. Alright, so when we get to HK 947, oh, that's not going to show up there. Alright. Alright, let's go into heading mode. Go to heading mode. Let's go BS mode. Alright, let's choose runway 33 left. Or 33 actually. RNAV 33. Banu. Open Banu again. Alright, let's actually plug in the VOR, so 114. Let's go into VOR mode. And let's go back to charts here. Let's do approach. 33. We have a heading of 323 for course, actually. Let's now come back to here. Performance tool. Runway 33. Calculate. We now have 148 and 95.14. So 148. 95.14. Alright, that's good. And now let's come up to landing en route. Let's import our new data. VREF is 140. That's what I have plugged in already, I think. And, what's it? 1007, so let's change this now. To 1007. We're 13 miles out. Let's head out to the sea a little bit. Let's slow down our descent a little bit so we can actually slow down ourselves. Slow down to 230. got 140 in. We got to plug in our decision height as well. Let's go back to the chart. Decision height is let's see here, 200. Still no RNP number. Alright, let's plug in 200 for the decision height. Let's come up here. Let's just spin this little wheel here. There we go. That's 200. Go to the VFR map. This is our entrance here. Here's our plane. See, we're starting to line up now. Yay! Successfully uploaded. Yay! Many hours later, yay! Finally, man, my computer will rest. That thing's been working overtime. Alright, we can get ready to swing back. We have, so that's at 10 miles out, and we are at 22, so yeah, we're okay. And it is 3:23. Alright, let's swing back around. Slow down to 220. You know, we never did put our landing lights on. Put this on approach. Now let's capture this localizer so we can come in for our landing. We don't need drag. We're not doing that landing anymore, buddy. Let's put our speed brakes on 3. Alright, looks like we're getting ready to capture the localizer again. So let's start turning. Let's click on approach. You can see we now have final approach course on the bottom here and glide path. There's our glide path indicator. put some flaps down. Go 210. Go flaps 2. Alright, we should be about ready to capture the localizer, or the VOR actually. That's slowly moving into focus there. Got about 18 miles left. Put our heads-up display down. Approach mode. Alright, we'll leave it in this mode. Alright, final approach course has been captured. I don't think we can click on Autopilot 2 and have it do anything. Oh, we'll do it. Oh no, it's single channel. Okay, that's what I thought. Alright, so that's good. We're now about 15 miles out. Let's go flaps 5. Getting ready to slow down again. I want to be at flaps 15 when we hit 10 miles out. Let's arm the speed brakes. There we go, flaps 15. Get ready to put our landing gear down. Alright, let's put our landing gear down. Alright, glide path has now been captured. So that should take us down to, I think, like 100 feet over.
Clear to land runway tree KLM 1253.
There's our plane right here. Alright, let's slow down to 140.
2500.
Doing alright? Alright, more flaps. More flaps. And more flaps. You know, I don't think I've ever landed at this airport before. Look at them little finish homes. Look at that. They got some cool roofs on these finish homes. Look at that, man. Got all kinds of triangles and quadrilaterals and octocouplets. Where's the Wawa around here, man? Where can I get me like a pizza roll? Where can I get me a pepperoni pizza log? Where's the Wawa around here? Let me get one of them Thanksgiving bowls with the stuffing and the gravy and the mashed taters. Turkey. Now you're talking. Alright, let's see how far down this thing takes us. I don't remember, to be honest, how far down this will take us. Doing a good job so far. See the reticle? Right on the sweet spot. Or pretty close to it.
Approaching minimums.
Alright, so like 250
50,
over.
40, 30 minimums.
Not bad. We floated the landing a little bit. But not too bad. We got 5 stars. That worked. Alright, let's talk to the AT Sizzle, find out where we're going. Put on our lights there. We can turn off the landing lights. I heard you the first time. I don't know why it gave me that option. Oh, alright, we don't need to contact them back. Alright. Look at that, man. Yeah, we floated the landing a little bit. I really thought we were on the ground, which is why we floated. I don't have the volume turned up a lot. It's not giving me the option to turn you off, dude. Hang on, let me turn off the ATC altogether. Because it looks like it's getting stuck. Alright, let's turn this off. Why is that on? I shouldn't be on. Yeah, I don't know why it was not giving us an option to respond properly. It just kept on saying, say again. That's weird. Alright, we can turn the flight directors off. Yeah, I was trying to find a KLM flight that went from one handcrafted airport to another, but I couldn't find it, so there was plenty of flights going to Amsterdam, obviously, but why does it say the speed brakes? What do I have? Yeah, they should be down. Shit, sorry, I was looking at my phone. No! Alright. Park and brake on. Get the chocks in place. Get the jetway connected. Open the door. Done. Not bad. That was fun. That was fun. Well, I hope you guys got, some enjoyment out of this. This was, like, the first time I've really ever done one of these front to back, like, with all the settings that I do and where to find them and setting it all up. Like, that's the first time I've done that, but that was fun, man. A little offline. Good thing we don't get any demerits for, bad parking, but it is what it is. So we're here in Finland. We're going to do it up. We're going to find us some blue-eyed blonde-haired girl and shack up for the wintertime and re-emerge a new man. Anyways, I'll see y'all tonight around 8 o'clock, my friends. Have a good rest of the Sunday, and I will check y'all out then. Make sure y'all do all the YouTube things, that we always ask that you do. Please do them all before you leave, or at least some of them, or one at least. And I will see you on the next episode of the Airplane Show. See you later, my friends. See ya.